Hello and welcome once again to the Company Interiors YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be showing you how we do a bonsai version of a desk plant, a really nice feature. It is Crassula Ovata, or the money plant. So what we are looking at today is the situation of home offices, workplaces in general benefit from biophilic design. So it is the introduction of plant life. Now we have several videos that we've already produced on moss plants, moss frames and planting devices, but these are all artificial, so they require no maintenance whatsoever. And I wanted to concentrate on this particular product and this particular species because this is a live plant, but it is super low maintenance. So I have had this, would you believe, for I would say probably 20 years. So I love my plants, I love my office plants, I could not do without them. There are statistics that are showing 38% improvement on positivity within the workforce for people that have planting in their environment, whether that's at home, their home office, or their office, at work, in their commercial situation. And I'm going to drop a link in the description here of a TED Talk which gives far more intellectual insight into this particular subject, but it is proven. So let's get on with the actual job in hand. What I want to do today is to repot this particular one. I'm going to show you how to do it from start to finish, but what I also want to do is I also want to get you some free samples. So just quickly, if you can just click on the link in the description, that will go straight to a sample order page that I can post to you some samples of the materials, the moss in particular, that we are promoting. And please subscribe to the channel and click notification bells because we do lots of videos like this. So let's take our plant. First thing to say, this is how shallow the tray is. I've got two cameras here. There is no illusion, that is literally how level, how shallow the actual pot is. So this is bonsai in its crudest form. I am by no means an expert, so if I can do this and I can keep this plant alive, I'm sure that you can as well. So let's just have a quick look at this. It's probably going to go everywhere, but you see from the bottom of the actual tray, descriptions, everything that I'm using today will be in links below in the video. So you see that we've got a couple of holes in the bottom. We're going to undo those so I can show you. The root system is very, very fine, and it is intertwined with these bits of wire. So whether they are copper or whether they are just stainless steel, you can use various products like this to anchor your plant to the holes in the dish that will eventually hold it. Now this is a succulent. In America they are called fat plants for the very reason that I think most succulents have got fairly chunky foliage. They're a great looking office plants that we use. And the root system is really, I would say, only for anchoring the plant. Most of the moisture in the succulent world are kept actually in the stem and in the leaves. So photosynthesis will be carried out all through the actual foliage, and that will keep the plant alive. So the first thing that we're going to do is to say it's hard to hurt this plant, and you can be relatively strong with it. So what I want to do, I'm going to repot it. It needs some form of nutrients here because eventually this root system, as you see there, will become all completely intertwined. And the plant wants to have as much as it can to get the nutrients out of the soil, albeit it's not actually taking too much out of there. So I've got a compost, which I'll talk about in a minute. So first of all, I want to just thin this soil out and then cut back some of the root system from around the outside. So this is typical of bonsai creation in general, typically with outdoor plants, we would bonsai them, just reduce them, make sure that they will just grow very, very slowly in smaller containers, and therefore they require almost like a miniature plant. This is a bit of a cheat. So this is our money plant. This is supposed to bring us good luck. Touch my money plant, make sure all the money keeps coming in. That is, it's as decorative as it is also therapeutic. So I put it in a bowl of water. I take some of my tools first of all, and what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just going to cut round the outside. Just checking the camera that we can see all that, you see? So I'm literally trimming around all of the outside with a sharp pair of scissors. This forms a clean cut to the edges of the root system, and in other bonsais that I have also worked on, I think the cutting of the root system that sharp without pulling and tugging, a clean cut with some disinfected tools will not cause any harm to your plant. So work quickly, work decisively, and what we are doing here in a bowl of water, I've used hose pipes before, just to clean back the soil, the old soil that is on there. I will take my rake system, a miniature bonsai tool, just to take away some of that soil. Gently just scraping it away. Maybe better if I move that over so the other camera can see what I'm doing. So I'm just literally scraping away the old soil. And I think what's happening here is that we're literally teasing the root system back out. See, it's quite dry under there, and it pays to leave it in that water for a period of time. And I can already feel, so using your hand, I can already feel the very, very fine roots coming away out of the old soil. This also can show you, if you can see on the camera footage, how that we have taken the original root system and just bound the wire that holds the thing around the bottom of the root system, and then that fits a piece of fine mesh through the holes of the wire, and that helps to, you can see the mesh just sticking out the side here. So the wire wraps around it through the holes in the fine mesh, just to leave the two holes underneath there, the two wires showing. So that's about enough as we will want out of that. I've removed most of the soil, just leave that plant sitting in its bath of water. Now, the compost, or the soil that we are going to repurpose, is a mixture of houseplant potting compost. Again, I'll put all the links in the description, the affiliate links from Amazon. If you want to get any of this stuff, you can just click on the links below. I then mix a little bit of peat-free compost and some vermiculite, which is the assisting with the drainage, fine little domes. I don't have a pot of it here, but I mix that in with my compost. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put a bed of that compost all round the bottom of the pot. Then go in with my smaller tool, miniature shovel, and I'm going to pack that compost tightly into the corners of the pot. And I'm going to flatten that down, pressing hard down on the surface to create that solid base. There. I'm going to take my plant It's had all of the compost removed. I'm just going to straighten the wires on the bottom, and I'm going to just locate the holes. There's one there and there's one there. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to drop the wires back into those holes. Doing this in live situation so you can see how it works. So that's sat in there fine. Give it a bit of a, yep, that's sat there tightly in its new bed. Then I'm just going to run some compost around the surface again to cover up the second layer. Spread that around. Clear as much of the top of the root base as you can, because you want to keep the soil away from that base, and it is also much more attractive to see the bases of the roots sticking out. Press that soil in nice and firm, and then once you've speeded that, once you press that all back in, take your little shovel, squeeze that in tight to the edges, and then drop that into a larger bowl of water just to settle. Leave it in that bowl of water for 20 minutes and then bring it out, let it all drain through, and then pat that down again. So while we're just here, we are also going to take the opportunity to prune this particular plant. Cut it all back slightly because it's slightly overgrown. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the plant down to the bottom of the node there, just above a set of leaves. Not that it really matters because it doesn't cause too much harm. What I want to do is I just want to clip back to the bigger leaves that are forming to leave the smaller ones. And then really what I'm doing here, I'm just reshaping this tree. Cutting the bigger leaves out, leaving the smaller ones to come through. Because as they begin to regrow, the leaves grow smaller and smaller as per a bonsai. Spin that around, and you're using your artistic vision here to reduce this plant and reshape it, because it will keep growing. It's been growing for 20 years, so it's not going to stop now. That's quite brutal. Looks brutal, but then that is the finished product.